The auction hall glittered with Seoul's elite. But Elena Watt saw only him, Kang Min-ho, the ice-cold CEO, whose arranged marriage proposal her father accepted without asking her. 3 months as his wife, living in separate wings of his penthouse like strangers. Until tonight, when a rival's hand slid too low on her waist and Min-ho's champagne glass shattered in his grip. Blood dripped from his palm as their eyes locked across the room. And something feral, possessive, utterly devastating awakened in those dark depths. Her breath caught. Everything changed. Welcome to Wonderpath Stories, besties. Please like, share, and subscribe. Elena hadn't wanted this marriage. Her Afro-Korean heritage made her an outsider in Seoul's upper circles. And Min-ho's reputation as the untouchable Kang heir terrified her. He was beautiful, cold, powerful, a man who built empires and destroyed competitors without mercy. Their wedding night, he'd shown her to the guest wing. "You'll have everything you need. Don't enter my space." His voice was ice. She'd nodded, trying not to cry. That was 12 weeks ago. Now she stood in the ballroom of the Grand Joseon Hotel, wearing the diamond necklace he'd left on her pillow that morning. No note. Never any words. Just expensive gifts that felt like obligations. "Mrs. Kang." Director Park's voice oozed false charm as he appeared beside her. "You look exquisite tonight." Elena smiled politely, stepping back. "Thank you, Director Park." His hand caught her waist, pulling her close. "Your husband doesn't appreciate what he has. Perhaps someone else should. Remove your hand." Min-ho's voice cut through the music like a blade. Elena's heart slammed against her ribs. He stood 3 feet away, blood dripping from his right palm where glass had cut deep. His expression was murder dressed in a Tom Ford suit. Park released her immediately, bowing. "Mr. Kang, I meant no. Get out." Min-ho's eyes never left Elena. "You're fired. Security will escort you." The ballroom went silent. Later that night, Elena sat in Min-ho's private study, the first time she'd been allowed inside. He stood at the window, his injured hand now bandaged, jaw clenched tight. "I shouldn't have caused a scene," he said finally. "It will be in tomorrow's papers." "You defended me," Elena whispered. He turned, and the look in his eyes made her stomach flip. "I won't apologize for that. Ever." "Why?" The question escaped before she could stop it. "You've barely spoken to me in 3 months. We live like strangers. I don't understand. Because if I touch you, I won't stop." His voice was raw, desperate. "If I let myself want you the way I've wanted you since our wedding night, I'll consume you. I'll cage you. I'll become everything you're afraid of." Elena's breath caught. "What?" Min-ho stepped closer, still maintaining distance. "You think I don't notice you? I know you drink jasmine tea at midnight when you can't sleep. I know you read romance novels in the library and cry at happy endings. I know you miss your mother's cooking and you're lonely in this house. I know everything, Elena, because I'm obsessed with you." Her knees went weak. "Then why?" "Because you deserve better than a man who wants to own you." The next day, flowers filled her wing. Jasmine. Hundreds of stems, their scent intoxicating. The card read, "I'm trying." Elena pressed it to her chest, something warm unfurling inside her. That evening, she found him in the kitchen at midnight, a place she'd never seen him before. He was making tea, jasmine tea, 2 cups. "You're awake," he said softly. "So are you." They stood in silence, the distance between them crackling with tension. Finally, Min-ho handed her a cup, their fingers brushing. Electricity shot up her arm. "I spoke to your father today," he said. Elena's eyes widened. "Min-ho, no one touches what's mine." "I'm not yours," she whispered, but even she heard how unconvincing it sounded. His smile was dark, knowing. "Aren't you? You wear my ring. You live in my home. You carry my name. And every night, I stand outside your door, fighting the urge to knock, to beg you to let me in." Heat flooded her cheeks. "I didn't know." Now you do. A few days later, Elena accompanied Min-ho to a charity gala. His hand never left the small of her back, possessive and warm. People stared the cold CEO and his beautiful wife, finally appearing together. Mr. Kang, a young executive approached, eyes sliding to Elena with obvious appreciation. And this must be your lovely wife. I'm Jung Tae-sung from Not Interested. Min-ho cut him off coldly, steering Elena away. His grip tightened on her waist. That was rude, Elena murmured. He was looking at you like he wanted to devour you. And how do you look at me? Min-ho stopped walking, turning to face her fully. The ballroom noise faded as he leaned close, his lips nearly brushing her ear. Like I already have. Elena's breath hitched. Before she could respond, gunshots shattered the windows. Chaos erupted. Min-ho threw her to the ground, covering her body with his, as screams filled the air. Glass rained down around them. Stay down, he ordered, his weight pressing her into the marble floor. She could feel his heart racing against her back. Security swarmed in. The shooting stopped as quickly as it started. That evening, Min-ho's penthouse became a fortress. Bodyguards stationed at every entrance. Security feeds covering every angle. Elena sat on the couch, still shaking, while Min-ho paced like a caged predator. This was a message, he said, phone pressed to his ear. Find out who authorized it. I want names by morning. He hung up, finally looking at her. Are you hurt? No. You protected me. Something shifted in his expression. He crossed to her, kneeling down so they were eye level. I will always protect you. Do you understand? I don't care what it costs. Elena reached out, touching his face. He flinched like she'd burned him. Why do you pull away from me? She asked softly. Because I'm holding on by a thread, Elena. Tonight, I thought I might lose you. And the things I wanted to do to whoever ordered that attack. He stopped, jaw clenched. I'm not a good man. You're my husband. In name only. Is that what you want? Her voice was barely audible. For this to stay a marriage in name only? Min-ho's eyes darkened with hunger. What I want would terrify you. Try me. The following morning, Elena woke in her own bed with no memory of getting there. Min-ho must have carried her. A note sat on her nightstand. Had to handle business. Stay inside. Guards are outside your door. She smiled despite herself, then noticed the bracelet beside the note. Diamond and sapphire. Clearly custom-made. Clearly expensive. Clearly chosen specifically for her. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Your husband has many enemies, Mrs. Kang. Pretty wives make excellent targets. Elena's blood ran cold. She forwarded it to Min-ho immediately. His response came within seconds. On my way. Don't leave the penthouse. 20 minutes later, he burst through the door, fury written across every line of his body. Show me. Elena handed him her phone. She watched his expression shift from anger to something far more dangerous. Pack a bag, he said quietly. We're leaving Seoul. What? Min-ho. Someone's targeting you to get to me. I'm taking you somewhere safe until I've eliminated the threat. His eyes met hers. I won't risk you. Who's doing this? Old enemies. Competitors who think hurting you will break me. His jaw clenched. They're right. By the end of the week, they were in Min-ho's private villa on Jeju Island, surrounded by ocean and isolation. The tension between them had grown unbearable, crackling in every shared glance and accidental touch. Elena stood on the terrace, watching the sunset paint the sky. She felt him before she heard him, his presence like gravity. You're safe here, Min-ho said, joining her. How long do we stay? As long as it takes. She turned to face him. And what do we do while we wait? The question hung between them, loaded with possibility. Min-ho's eyes darkened, his restraint visibly fraying. Elena, I'm tired of separate rooms, separate lives. Her voice was steady despite her racing heart. I'm tired of wanting you and pretending I don't. His breath caught. You don't know what you're saying, don't I? She stepped closer, closing the distance he always maintained. You said you're obsessed with me. You said you want to own me. I've been obsessed since our wedding night when you walked away like I meant nothing. You mean everything, he rasped. That's the problem. Then stop fighting it. Something snapped in him. He pulled her against him roughly, one hand tangling in her hair. If I start, I won't be gentle. I won't be noble. I'll keep you in my bed and never let you go. Promise? He kissed her like a man starving, desperate and consuming. Elena melted into him, 3 months of longing exploding between them. His hands mapped her curves like he was memorizing scripture, possessive and reverent. Mine, he growled against her lips. Say it. Yours, she gasped as he lifted her, carrying her inside. Always yours. The villa fell away. There was only Min-ho's touch. His whispered confessions in Korean and English. The way he worshipped every inch of her, like she was his religion. When they finally came together, it was with an intensity that shattered them both. Later, as moonlight spilled across tangled sheets, Min-ho held her close, his lips brushing her temple. I love you, he whispered. I've loved you since the moment I saw your picture. That's why I agreed to this marriage. Elena's eyes filled with tears. You should have told me. I was afraid. Of myself. Of how much I wanted you. His arms tightened around her. I'm still afraid. She kissed him softly. Don't be. Elena woke alone. Panic seized her immediately. The bed was cold, Min-ho's clothes gone. Had he regretted it? Changed his mind? She found a note on the pillow. Emergency in Seoul. Had to leave. Back by tonight. The formal tone destroyed her. This was the old Min-ho, distant and cold. Last night had meant everything to her. But maybe to him it was just. No. She wouldn't spiral. She'd get dressed, eat breakfast, wait for him to return. But by evening, he still hadn't come back. No calls, no texts. Elena's heart cracked. She'd given him everything, and he'd left without a word. That night, she packed her bags. If Min-ho wanted distance, she'd give him exactly what he'd had for 3 months. A wife, in name only, living in a separate wing. She called for a car to take her back to Seoul. The following morning, Min-ho returned to find the villa empty. Pure terror seized him. He called her phone voicemail. He called the guards they'd been instructed not to stop her. No, he breathed, racing back to the car. No, no, no. The drive to Seoul took hours. Every minute was agony. He'd left her because his team had identified the threat, Lee Corporation, a rival company whose CEO wanted Min-ho destroyed. He'd needed to handle it personally, quickly, before they could strike again. He'd been protecting her. But he'd also been an idiot, leaving without explanation, letting her think he regretted their night together. When he burst into the penthouse, he found Elena in the guest wing, unpacking like she'd never left. Elena, don't. She didn't look at him. We can go back to how things were. Separate lives. It's fine. It's not fine. He crossed to her, gripping her shoulders. Nothing about this is fine. I left because there was a credible threat, and I needed to eliminate it before it reached you. I should have called, should have explained. But I was trying to handle it fast. You left me, she whispered, tears spilling. After last night, you just left. Min-ho's heart shattered. He pulled her close, burying his face in her hair. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Last night was everything to me. You're everything to me. I panicked because I needed you safe, and I made the wrong choice. You made me feel like a mistake. Never. He pulled back, framing her face. You're the only thing I've ever done right. I love you, Elena. I'm obsessed with you. I want you in my bed, in my life, in every breath I take. Don't run from me, please. Later that night, Min-ho explained everything. Lee Corporation had been behind both attacks, trying to weaken his position. He'd spent the day systematically destroying, buying their debt, turning their investors, forcing bankruptcy. They'll never threaten you again, he said quietly. No one will. Elena sat curled against him on the couch, finally beginning to believe. You really came after me. I'll always come after you. He tilted her chin up. You're mine, Elena. My wife. My obsession. My everything. I'm done pretending otherwise. Good. She kissed him softly. Because I'm not letting you sleep in a separate wing anymore. His smile was pure possession. I was hoping you'd say that. A few days later, Min-ho called a press conference that shocked Seoul. Elena stood beside him as he addressed every major news outlet. 3 months ago, I married the love of my life, Min-ho said, his hand tight around Elena's. I was too afraid to show the world what she meant to me. That ends today. Elena Wat Kang is not just my wife, she's my partner, my heart, my future. Anyone who threatens her threatens me. And I protect what's mine. The cameras flashed. Elena's eyes filled with tears. I love you, he said, turning to face her fully. Publicly. Completely. Forever. I love you too, she whispered. He kissed her in front of everyone, claiming her for all the world to see. That evening, Lee Ji-hoon, the now bankrupt CEO of Lee Corporation, made one final desperate move. He broke into the penthouse with a gun. Security somehow compromised. Elena was alone in the bedroom when he appeared. She screamed as he grabbed her, pressing the weapon to her temple. Call your husband, Ji-hoon hissed. Tell him to come home. Tell him to come alone. Elena's hands shook as she dialed. Elena? He's here, she whispered. He has a gun. The line went dead. 5 minutes later, Min-ho kicked down the bedroom door, flanked by private security. His expression was murder incarnate. Let her go, he said quietly. Too quietly. Let her go and I'll make your death quick. You destroyed everything, Ji-hoon screamed. My company, my family. You threatened my wife. Min-ho's voice was pure ice. Did you think there wouldn't be consequences? In one fluid motion, security rushed Ji-hoon. The gun went off, Elena screamed. But Min-ho was already there, pulling her away as guards tackled Ji-hoon to the ground. Police arrived within minutes. Ji-hoon was arrested, screaming threats as they dragged him away. Min-ho held Elena as she shook, whispering promises against her hair. It's over. You're safe. I've got you. The following morning, Min-ho refused to leave her side. He canceled every meeting, every obligation, staying in bed with Elena wrapped in his arms. I almost lost you, he said quietly. I can't, his voice broke. Elena kissed him softly. You didn't. I'm here. Marry me again, he said suddenly. A real wedding. With your family, your friends, everyone you love. I want to do this right. Her heart swelled. We're already married. I don't care. I want to marry you every day for the rest of my life. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Yes, yes, of course, yes. 3 months later, they renewed their vows on Jeju Island. Elena's mother flew in from America, crying through the entire ceremony. Min-ho's family attended, finally accepting the woman who'd thawed their cold heir's heart. I love you, Min-ho said, sliding a new ring onto her finger. My wife. My heart. My Elena. I love you, she whispered back. My husband. My home. My Min-ho. They kissed as the sun set over the ocean, surrounded by everyone they loved. That night, in the villa where they'd first come together, Min-ho made love to his wife with devastating tenderness. Afterward, she lay in his arms, completely content. I want a family with you, he murmured against her hair. Children. A home full of love and chaos and everything we didn't have growing up. Elena smiled, placing his hand on her stomach. Good. Because you're getting one in about 7 months. Min-ho froze. What? Surprise, she whispered, nervous suddenly. I found out this morning. I was going to tell you after the ceremony, but he kissed her breathless, laughing and crying simultaneously. You're pregnant? We're having a baby? We're having a baby. Joy transformed his face. He held her close, one hand protective over her stomach. I love you. God, Elena. I love you so much. I love you too. 7 months later, Min-ho paced the hospital corridor, desperate for news. Inside, Elena was bringing their daughter into the world. When the doctor finally emerged, smiling, Min-ho nearly collapsed with relief. They're both healthy. You can see them now. He rushed inside. Elena looked exhausted but radiant, cradling a tiny bundle wrapped in pink. Meet your daughter, she whispered. Min-ho took the baby with shaking hands, tears streaming down his face. She was perfect dark curls, brown skin, eyes that would probably match his when they opened. She's beautiful, he breathed, like her mother. Elena smiled. What should we name her? Ji-woo, he said immediately. It means wisdom and kindness. Everything I want her to be. Ji-woo Kang, Elena tested. It's perfect. Min-ho sat beside her, their daughter between them, feeling more complete than he'd ever imagined possible. Thank you, he whispered, for giving me everything, for loving me when I didn't deserve it. You deserved it, Elena said softly. You always deserved it. Years later, when Ji-woo asked how her parents fell in love, Min-ho would pull Elena close and smile. Your mother taught me that love isn't about control or possession, he'd say. It's about trust, about choosing someone every single day. And your father, Elena would add, taught me that the scariest people can have the softest hearts. You just have to be brave enough to look. They'd lived through danger, jealousy, fear, and doubt. Their love story hadn't been easy, but it had been theirs, and it had been worth every single moment.